Hello, I'm Gloria with Action Speaks. I will be reading to you history from the Action Speaks Black Community newspapers of 1980s. And please bear with me as I read, and hopefully it will provide you some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what was going on in the 1980s in Panama City, Florida, particularly predominant black communities, or representation for black Americans. All right, today we'll start with Action Speaks, Black Community Newspapers, 1983, September. And the topic is Keep Your Eyes Open. And as you see, there's a picture of over 400 people as they crowded the Glenwood Recreation Center, which is now Martin Luther King Center, in Panama City, Florida, or Bay County, Florida. As you can see, the people that are there. And why were they there? It states, the black community joins together for positive actions to fight crime. And as you see in the corner, in your right hand corner, in my right hand corner, you see a picture down below, and that is the beloved teacher Dorothy Holmes, who was murdered during that time. Says the black community joins together for positive actions to fight crime. History must be recorded as it actually happened. The murder of Mrs. Dorothy Holmes, 51 years old, on August 10, 1983, struck a nerve with the community about the increase of and frequency of murders within our predominantly black area. After hearing about her death, the community was overshadowed with fear, which forced most of the people to consider the previous murders which had taken place within the year within the predominantly black community, their frequency, and most of them unresolved. The previous murders included Robert Scott, whose skeleton was found and the cause of death was murder. Evelyn Bellamy, found in her front yard, stabbed in the chest and with a cut throat. Bellamy is the only murder supposedly solved or charged to a person at that time. Most of those in the community who have voiced opinions about the case do not believe that the person, Comer, committed the crime. Leonard Bell was found dead in an old deteriorated house near a church, and the cause of death was murder. Forrester Thomas, a retired school teacher who taught English to practically everyone living in our community, whether in a classroom setting or just merely passing in a shopping center, was supposedly robbed or being robbed, and in the process stabbed. Though minor wounds, this crime caused her death. A white woman working as a clerk in the junior food store on 6th Street, also in the predominantly black community, was shot, and her murder is yet unresolved. Mildred Hendricks. Another woman, black, was found in the nude at her 13th Street home, stabbed in the chest and a cut throat. Similar to the murder of Mrs. Dorothy Holmes was the murder of Mildred McGee. While in the middle of the first stage of fear, or in the beginning of the second stage, anger, many women became threatened by the possibility that they were insecure in their homes and otherwise, though they had taken great precautionary measures in security. It was because of this fear that a program was planned for Friday, August 12, 1983, 2 days after the body of Mrs. Holmes was found, to bring about an initial awareness and offer to the masses directions to convert their fear into positive actions which could serve in assisting the law enforcement departments in finding evidence which may lead to the murders of the 6 persons and serve the people of the community in dealing directly with the issues of crime in our neighborhood by putting the people in contact with those that are experts or professionals in the field of crime stop, crime prevention, crime protective devices, willingly to share knowledge with those in the community that are concerned. Quote, "I knew her well," said a friend. Quote, "She wouldn't unlock her door unless she knew who you were. She carried a key on her person that she would use when someone she knew was there to see her. We talked many times about security, and I believe she got everything possible to secure her home." Unquote. Most of the people who knew Mrs. Holmes referred to her as a perfect person. She had her yard mowed every week. Her home was immaculate, and time was taken to put into her dressing and grooming. She taught English at Jenks Junior High School. The principal, during her memorial services, made a resolution to award a student each year in her honor.